This is Valley News Live at noon.
A big shakeup in the vaccination efforts. U.S. officials are now recommending a pause for the single-dose Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. Sanford and Essentia are following that guidance, and both are now only using Pfizer and Moderna. Essentia Health says the pause is not related to the overall effectiveness of the vaccine, but rather because of a study from the CDC and FDA, saying that 6 cases of severe blood clots in women between the ages of 18 to 48 who had all been previously given the shot have been reported. Essentia and Sanford add anyone who has received the J&J shot does not need to be revaccinated. The CDC and FDA also add those 6 reported cases of severe blood clots come out of nearly 7 million doses administered so far. We spoke with the vice president at Sanford Health, and we'll have more on his response starting at 4. Well, a mid-April blast of winter weather has people bundling up and slowing down on the roads. When will the snow move out of the area? Let's go right away to meteorologist Lisa Green.
Well, good afternoon. It's a first alert weather day because it has had impacts on travel here in the valley, and we'll continue to have to put up with this for a little while longer here today. I want to take a look again at our Skycam view because it's pretty telling of what's going on here. This is the Luther Family Ford Skycam. You can see we've got ice on the camera, as well as you can see beyond that the flakes still coming down in Fargo-Moorhead as people are trying to go about their business in this noon hour. So here's a look at your radar. Southern Valley, we've got some areas of snow working their way through. The deeper blues, the darker blues, those are where we've got a heavier snowfall rate going on. Up into the Northern Valley, some pockets there of some heavier snow, but notice how it's dwindling a little bit up in the northwestern part or corner rather of Minnesota, and that's going to ease up for the time being in that area and break up a little bit more. However, there could still be more moving their way through, so just keep that in mind that we could still see some scattered snow showers even as this widespread area continues to dip southward. Visibility is low. We are less than a mile in Grand Forks, Fargo, right at a mile for visibility. And taking a look at our planner in Grand Forks, you can see the snow on the ground and temperatures that really don't go anywhere here today. Snow chances continue. Details on
Thanks, Lisa. Well, new for you now at noon. The bishop for the Crookston, Minnesota Catholic Diocese is now working for the church after a request to resign by the Pope. In a statement, the diocese says the Pope asked for and has accepted the resignation of former Bishop Michael Hepner. The diocese goes on to say Hepner failed to report allegations of sexual abuse involving clergy in the diocese. He was appointed bishop of the diocese in 2007. A priest from Iowa is now leading that diocese until a new permanent bishop is installed. Well, more unrest in Minnesota overnight after a fatal officer-involved shooting death of 20-year-old Dante Wright, who'd been pulled over by police for a traffic violation. Hundreds of protesters taking to the streets, defying curfews and demanding justice. About 40 arrests were made overnight. Morgan Chesky has more from Brooklyn Center.
Overnight in Minnesota, another tense standoff in the streets. The Twin Cities under a state of emergency. Crowds protesting another deadly encounter between a black man and police, staying out through a dusk till dawn curfew. Gathering outside the Brooklyn Center Police Department.
We have National Guard and Brooklyn Center Police pushing back hundreds of protesters block by block. Debris is being thrown right now. And they're moving them out. They're moving them out.
Authorities deploying tear gas, flashbangs, and rubber bullets. Protesters fighting back with fireworks. The second night of chaos following the shooting death of 20-year-old Dante Wright, a black man, at the hands of a Brooklyn Center police officer, identified overnight as Kim Potter, the 26-year veteran now on administrative leave. Newly released body camera video capturing that fatal encounter. After Wright was pulled over for expired tags, officers discovered he had a warrant for his arrest. When they tried to take him into custody, Wright scrambled back into his vehicle. Then police say Officer Potter fired what was a fatal shot. After reviewing the video, Police Chief Tim Gannon calling the shooting an accident.
It is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet.
Some protesters not buying that explanation.
I'm a beginner shooter, and I can tell the difference between a weight of a gun, the trigger of a gun, versus the trigger on a taser?
The medical examiner ruling Wright's death a homicide, saying he died from a gunshot wound to his chest. The mayor not mincing words.
I do fully support releasing the officer of her duties.
The family's pain clear as Daunte Wright's aunt spoke out overnight.
Then he didn't deserve to die. He loved his family and we loved him.
And Wright's grieving mother demanding justice.
He was my life. He was my son. And I could never get that back.
NBC reached out to Kim Potter. Her attorney declined to comment. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is now leading the investigation into the shooting. Well, the state of Minnesota has rested its case in the trial of Derek Chauvin. Defense attorneys are now calling their own witnesses to the stand, likely saying a bad heart and drugs led to George Floyd's death. Prosecution wrapped up the case yesterday, with Floyd's brother being the final witness. You can watch the trial as it happens on our website and on the Valley News Live Facebook page. Well, people in Dilworth are still able to have as many pets as they want in their homes after a proposal tried to limit it. City council members voted unanimously last night against limits on pet owners. The proposal would have only allowed up to 4 animals in any one home. One update to Dilworth's pet ordinance was approved, calling for microchips in pets that would replace the current system of annual pet licenses. Well, coming up at noon, he's blind and mostly deaf, but a fluffy therapy dog has found his true purpose in life. But first, it is a First Alert weather day. Lisa Green has been tracking the snow and tells us when it will all move out.